Welcome back to Episode 7 of Unforeseen Heroes. Last session, our heroes rescued Elder Ordwy, but learned a terrible ritual was underway to resurrect Zar Azmak, the demon lord of rust and decay. Leaving Ordwy with the cheerful Elise, they dove back into the Sky Metal workshop, into a grand galley dedicated to the demon lord, and even deeper still into the upper levels of the Darklands. Initially stymied by a grand crevasse, they found the rest of the Boggart expedition they had previously befriended. Heard about complex rivalries between Darrow, Boggarts, and Bats, the Boggarts knew of a secret door into the cultist location, and the party rapidly invaded. Upon entering the chamber, they saw a wall of force blocking access to the far side. With the ritual nearing a climax behind the wall, undead guardians rose to repulse the party, but the party made quick work of them. And with the death of the spellcasting skeleton, the wall of force fell. A panicked ritualist blew the horn, attempting to complete the ritual early. But thanks to the heroes disrupting numerous arcane devices in the floors above, the ritual went awry, summoning a very angry demon, which attacked the ritualist before it was first forced back into the outer rifts. We pick back up as the party presses their advantage to defeat the ritualist and block the resurrection of Zar Azmak. And it is the beginning of round 6. Vanarel, it is your turn.
All right, picking up right where we left off. The Lich is finally dead in the corner, but there are two of these things closing in. So I am going to choose a new and exciting target. Specifically, I think this guy here to my my northwest. I will use a hunt prey on him to size him up, and then I am going to unload with the flurry and the hammers. Let's see if swing number 1 can. Nope. It's been a long battle. Feels like we've been doing this for a week. Let's see if the second one does anything at all.
The second one will critically hit.
The first one was just a little flare, a little distraction. You have to come around and clock this thing right upside the head. Quick 16.
The hammer thuds into its side, almost knocking it over, but it stands on its feet, growling at you.
Okay, well, I will take one more swing then. Try to end this thing.
That's another crit.
That's
For minimum damage, but that is still enough to destroy that zombie. It slumps to the floor in a spatter of rotten guts. I think that was your whole turn?
okay. Yes.
The person blowing the horn in the corner is up next, and he is going to start off by moving to see you all a little easier. And then he is going to drop a spell on one of you. Yes. Begins casting a spell, and everything around... Let's see. Let's drop this 20 foot first. Right there. Does not get Dezi. I will need a fortitude save from everyone else. The remaining zombie appears to be unaffected by it, as you see decay start growing over your skin. Daegron and Libbiel, that would be fails. Vanarel's, that would be a success.
We're becoming more of them.
Minimum damage, though. 2 points of damage to Daegron and Libby. 1 point to Vanarel. And that was a very... whatever it is, you're fighting off this decay. Dezi.
Daegron, could you go deal with that guy with the horn? We can mop up here. I will cast a spell, muttering a prayer to the open road, and a healing glow appears around Daegron. And then I'll get that heal I'll need. And this is... Then I'm going to use my last action to sustain my spiritual armament. I'm just going to recast, and I will attack. Let's get the guy in back.
The hammer misses.
That was my turn.
Libbiel.
Libbiel is going to use her electric bee sting once again. See what kind of damage we can get off on it.
That will critically hit.
Here you get the damage.
I applied double it, and it looks like some of it did even more. And on a critical, we have some persistent electricity on it. It's convulsing and jerking in response to all of the electricity damage flowing through it.
With the last part of my turn, I stand up.
Daegron.
Okay. As Daegron starts his turn here, he looks back. Thanks, Dezi. Yeah, I'm on it. And he goes charging over this way, halberd in hand. 25 feet gets him right there. So within range, he's then going to go for an attack on him. Swinging the halberd up high.
That's a hit.
23 hit. So that is 18 points of damage. And then he will he'll swing one more time here with his third action. So with the map, that is a 21.
Another hit.
For another 13 points.
He goes down.
He just swings the halberd and it almost cuts the legs right out from underneath of him. He almost tumbles into that altar that they have there.
The electrocuted zombie is up next, and it is going to punch out at Vanarel. Just barely missing. The spasming of electricity seems like it moved its arm astray, and it tries a second one, which also just misses you. Beginning of round 7, actually first, persistent damage is going to kill it. And we are out of combat.
Vanarel will still have his hammers raised, waiting for it to stand back up or something after what it just did, or didn't do.
Mitramar gasps out, Tsar Azmak will live again. I offer my... Raises the horn to his lips to blow it again, only for it to fall from his hands as he collapses to the ground. The portal pulses smaller and smaller before it disappears with a screeching pop. The ominous hum...
I imagine Daegron actually knocked it out of his hand. But that's just me.
The ominous hum and crackle of the energies collected by Rusthenge grows silent until your gasping breaths are the only sound now in the eerily quiet chamber.
That's creepy. Hey, can you maybe smash that horn? I feel like nobody should have that.
Yeah, Daegron brings that the butt of the halberd down to try to smash the horn on the ground.
Roll an attack roll.
Okay.
And roll some
24.
damage.
20 points.
The halberd bounces back and the horn is unharmed. You may have chipped the halberd even.
Golly,
pick
that sounds...
Yeah, I'm gonna pick up the horn and take a look at it to see if I know of any way of disposing of it.
Careful with that.
I'm guessing or occultism,
Sure, you
perhaps.
can roll that.
Check out. I'll try to do some knowledge on the portal. Figuring that out.
You feel
One.
weaker upon picking up the horn.
Ugh.
Um, you have, I mean, you think it's a horn. You don't, you're surprised it actually, you know, resisted the damage from that halberd swing. Sure, it's made out of metal, but it's relatively thin walled. Um, it's rusted. You'd think it'd be easy to break, but nothing happened to it. The
All
portal's
right.
actually gone
Well,
now. I just don't have an animation to remove it completely. Dezi.
Okay.
that's fine.
Well, I mean, warming the spot where it was. Is there
Sure.
anything? Do I think there's anything weird going on there?
Give me a religion check. I mean, you're pretty sure it was a portal to the outer rifts. It is not anymore.
Yeah. Hmm. Well, I might have a good task for those Boramites looking for something to guard or do. I say, glancing at the horn.
Do we
Well,
really trust them? It already got
Uh,
them once.
I'll hold this horn. It's making me feel a little weird, though. Should we fleece this guy and see if there's anything on him?
Here, I'll take a look. Oh yeah, looks like a bunch of magic things. I'll try to figure out what they are.
I'm gonna take a search to see if I can find hidden rooms around here.
Sure. Let's see. So give me a perception check for searching for hidden rooms while I go over what Dezi is discovering here. Um,
In that same vein with Dezi doing this, Daegron walks over and sees that undead spellcaster and looks like there is a staff on him.
it does.
So he grabs that and tosses it over to Dezi.
Dezi, you did identify the two wands he was holding, a wand of create food and a wand of restoration. You were not made any progress on his pick or the horn.
Well, I got two things I'm unsure about. The horn. Oh, sorry, I didn't realize the horn was one of those things. Okay. Somebody else can maybe try if they want, but I at least know these two, and they're on my list. So they're divine spells. I should be able to cast them.
And Libbiel, looking around the room, you're not spotting anything else. I mean, this looks like it was designed to be, the innermost, most secure room of this complex. So maybe it's not surprising that there's no exits from this room.
Okay. It doesn't look like there's any other way out, so.
Vanarel, you want to grab this pick? I'm not sure. Is it might be useful for you, or Daegron? I can try to figure, or maybe Libby can try to figure out what it is.
I don't have the fast identifier like you do. It'd take me a
We
lot
can-
longer.
In theory, we can spend 10 minutes here. I don't think disrupted the ritual at this point. Up to you though.
Okay, I'm gonna roll a couple of arcanas at them then.
And if nothing else, I can just hold on to it if need be. I mean, it's a pick. I know what it does, basically, but not fully my style.
On the staff, it is a staff of air. This is carved from white ash wood. The staff of air crackles with electrical sparks, and a breeze always follows the staff. While wielding the staff of air, you feel lighter on your feet, and you can step into difficult terrain once per round. And the spells on it has Gale Blast, Air Bubble, and Gust of Wind.
That sounds
Skeleton
like
need
stuff
for
I
air
could
bubble.
do.
Sounds more up your alley, Libby.
I would like to take it. I've been looking for a staff. One that's actually magical and not just a hunk of wood.
Sure. I'll throw it in the stash and you can grab it from there.
No, I can just grab it from the skeleton.
Okay.
It's fine.
Any luck on that pick? The horn is obviously.
Oh, yes.
I mean,
Libbiel did get that. Who took it? I need to unmystify it.
I just
It-
put it into the stash.
Into the stash. Thank you.
I guess I'm holding the horn though. So is that the unusual object that he's
Yes.
still holding?
+1 striking pick is the pick you found.
All yours,
wow.
Vanarel. I've got a striking weapon.
I'm gonna also take this key that's on him and just like throw it into the stash.
Yes.
stuff.
That key would have opened the chest that you picked in his bedroom.
Oh. Meh. Okay. Do we drag his body back up or just report that he's down here?
I think we can probably report that he's down here. That's a long way to bring it, all those stairs.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, we have a bag. I'll pull out the furry bag.
Okay.
Big enough to hold.
Does it fit?
Let me check.
I'll empty out the furry bag first. I don't want to put a body in with our nice stuff. But,
Given that
know.
you haven't identified it yet, let me see.
We haven't identified the bag.
No.
Dezi, I'm not sure that's gonna fit.
It so you open it and you do see that it has multiple compartments in this bag. You see that there's the largest one, which is the furry one. It looks like as you're starting to shove the body in, it just keeps going in. You do see a second compartment that actually is not furry, and a third one that has like a velvet lining.
Whoa. I never see that. That was weird. Well, let's see if we can get it back out once we get up there.
This skeleton over here has some loot on him. Short sword, scimitar, arrows. Or a short bow.
Oh, it all looks rusted. I'm not too worried about it.
Okay. Should we just
Watch
get out of
that
here, then?
door. It might be trapped.
Yeah, I'm gonna listen behind it first.
Give me a perception check there. You don't hear anything beyond the door.
I don't hear anything.
Remember there was the trap last time?
Yeah. I mean, we could also just go report to our frog friends that their bargain has been they can get out of their deal.
Okay. Just like carrying this really evil horn. This thing feels weird.
Libby, maybe you should wrap that up in something. It doesn't seem good to hold.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna put it in my bag. Is that good enough?
You still feel weak while it's in your bag.
I glance
Uh.
at the bag that I shoved the body in, glance up, and like, no, that's probably a bad idea.
Let's
Uh,
not put the probably cursed horn in there.
So
I didn't see anything weird about this horn, but like it's obviously I'm probably not seeing it.
Bluetooth walks up to you and the area is quiet. What has happened?
Stop the ritual, and the Metramar guy, he's dead.
All dead in there?
All dead.
Yeah. Didn't
Good.
go through any of the other doors, so I don't know what's through any of them.
Our alliance is over then. Huzzah.
Well, I hope we can continue to be friends.
Yes? You know attack us, right? And we friends.
No.
No. We share food though.
We don't have a lot of food.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, no problem. Maybe we'll have a meal later.
Maybe we'll bring you some food. Vanarel will tap the friend badge.
Friends, good. Maybe more boggards come back. Or do we leave? That for Queen to decide. Thank you, humans.
Well.
Don't correct him. It's okay.
But
Okay.
yeah, Vanarel starts to, but then shakes his head.
As he starts to hold up a finger, and Daegron kind of pulls him back. And, oh, okay, fine.
It's best to just leave them to it.
Just a reminder, we probably want to cross that bridge one by one.
Yeah, right.
Oh, right.
I could just see us forgetting that,
Yep, it definitely bows a lot under Daegron's weight, but creaks. Nothing falls off of it though. It all stays together. And with Libbiel
Oh,
carrying
Vanarel does have
her new
her.
staff, it barely even moves under you as you walk across.
Oh,
Neat trick.
Well, we might as
magic
well head all
staff.
the way back up to the Citadel, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah, I
probably
see
to this.
the stone home.
Stone Home is what they like to call it.
So you are heading back up through the tunnel to Stonehome, or are you waiting for a high tide to get across the island?
I think we're just going to go through the tunnel to Stonehome.
Okay.
They need to be told anyway.
Yep, let me open that one up for you. Put you on that map. Not quite. Let's see, I want you in the tunnel still. Move you back. As you are traversing that tunnel, you hear, "Hurry up, you lazy louts. You all saw the spectacle of a Rusthenge. We must show Gorm we have not lost our nerve. We go to aid those who aided us." With the sound of clanking armor and heavy footfalls racing down the tunnel, before drawing up in an unexpected surprise as they find you. "Praise Gorm, you're alive! And out of there!" Lightning flashed across Rusthenge, and an unpleasant keening split the air. It stopped but moments ago. I had every faith in you, but felt you might need some aid. What's the news? As you encounter Sister Vanda leading a pair of acolytes down the tunnel to you.
Well, we took care of the problem. We found Metramar. He's gone. He was trying to do some ritual there, with some horn. It must be powerful. We weren't able to break it. And Metramar, well, Metramar's in the bag, but we figured we'd bring the body back.
He's in the bag?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. I start shaking it out.
Yeah, I don't fully understand it either, but he's in there.
Grotesque.
Why do you have a body in a bag?
I don't like proof that we actually got him.
Easier for transport?
Somebody suggested we should take him out. I didn't really think too much about it and just kind of put him in there.
Okay. You're not
It's a
planning to
magic
eat him,
bag.
are you?
No, we're
No.
planning on to I don't know, burn it.
Yeah, honestly, it may be best if this body is just lost. He is part of an empire.
I just don't want him to come back as an undead down there.
Yeah, his grandfather was apparently doing some research down here and knew about the ritual.
And was undead.
Is his grandfather in your bag too? Oh, no, undead. Okay.
Smashed.
No.
Broken to bits.
Pretty sure he was a lich.
I don't think he was a lich.
You sure about that?
I'm pretty sure he wasn't a lich.
Well, he's gone, whatever he was.
Well, we've been cleaning and investigating Stonehome more, rededicating it and ourselves to Gorham. We have yet to find any of Nora's writings to know if there's any other rust or rot to purge. Did you find anything of his below?
Yeah, this evil horn I take out of my bag. It feels weird. Do you have a way of, like, destroying really evil religious objects?
That was Hor's?
Uh, uh, oh, sorry. I meant, like, Metromar's thing?
Ah, um, she like holds her hands over it, uh, prays, imploring Gorham's might to destroy this thing. Um, takes it in her hands and like tries to snap it in half, only to like completely fail at that. It's more
Yeah,
solid than it looks.
that was our experience too. We found a book on elves down there. That's the one I've been keeping. I don't think it was Cora's. I have a feeling it was whomever came before them. And what did we find on? He was the previous captain here, right?
It was the high priest here, yes.
Yeah, sorry. He had. I mean, he had some basic equipment that was rusted, but I don't think he had a lot more.
May I see the writings?
Oh, sure. I'll hand them the book on elves that we found before.
Ah. She flips through the first couple pages. Yes, this was the high priest's journal. Um, what is this about elves you speak?
Oh, sorry. There was a lot of mumbling about how many elves they saw, and one was my mom. That's her there. Uh, yeah, and I'll point to her name in the book.
I can see why this interests you. Would you let me borrow this for a couple hours? I just want to review the rest of the writings to see if there's any secrets. She has handed back the horn, Libbiel. Um, if there's any secrets of our faith, or any other hidden codes or words I must know.
For my part, I'm happy just to transcribe the part that's important to me, and it's not our book to keep. It's even though Horus turned, he is part of your faith.
Okay. In that case, will you stop back by Stoneholm after you've transcribed it? I imagine you want to get back to Elsie's first before you spend some time copying.
Yeah. I think that'd be fine, right? Right, everyone? Does that sound okay?
I'm fine with it. I just would like to talk to Ordwy about uh, maybe figuring out what we want to do with this thing. He shakes the horn. I think we're probably gonna talk to all the elders and find some place to lose this forever.
Well, we did find a forge around here. If we can't break it, maybe we can just melt the stupid thing down.
I think that might be a lost cause.
Yeah, even with the smashing it with this weapon, he kind of holds up the striking halberd. He says, "It didn't even make a dent. In fact, I still see the blemish where I hit it. I don't think a forge will do anything."
It might be a take it to a volcano and toss it in kind of situation. Wish we had one on the island, but
Alas, there are no volcanoes on Shakakoth Isle.
I mean, I'm kind of glad there's no volcano on the island, but sure. Uh, yeah, I mean, if we can't destroy it, losing it or having it well guarded somewhere by people we trust would probably make the most sense.
I would like to spare your elder another encounter with me. What is the best way? Will you come back to Stoneholm to drop off the journal? Or I guess you could leave it with me. I could copy the pages you want and send a runner with the copied. What would you prefer?
That sounds good to me if you're willing to copy kind of this section here, and I'll point to the larger section on elves. Some of the other information seemed interesting too. It shouldn't be too much, I don't think.
I will send one of the acolytes. I don't think they will inspire as much trauma as I would. And then she kind of leads you back through the tunnel, back through Stoneholm, um, hands the journal with instructions to one of the acolytes you freed from the basement, and he goes off to do some copying. Uh, he grumbles a little. It sounds like he'd prefer to be training with his sword, but he obeys the command, and you are then heading back to Elsie's in Ordwy. I'll put you on that map, unless there's anything else you want to do at Stoneholm.
No.
Nope. Daegron doesn't have anything he needs to do.
Unless
Yeah.
you want to visit that blacksmith to see if he can like buff out your halberd.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be fine.
Get rid of- there we go. Okay, so you are back now at Elsie, talking with Ordwy. As you walk back in, uh, it does look like they have been chatting throughout the time you've been away. Uh, Ordwy does look more relaxed, more herself at this point. You came in as they were laughing. The sound of the door opening, though, they both look up. You could tell Elsie was, getting ready to welcome customers. Oh, it's you. You're back. We heard the horrible sound over Rusthenge. Um, what what's the situation?
Well,
Don't
the
worry.
good news is we're all here and okay, but it's kind of a wild story.
Oh,
Um,
please
I
tell.
I know you were a little worried about that demon, but or summoning the dead demon lord, but we took care of that. The ritual was stopped. Um, yeah. There was he had a strange horn. We can show it to you. It seemed part of the ritual he was doing, and he was getting notes from his grandfather. I guess his grandfather worked in the lab down there.
Uh, his grandfather. When did his grandfather arrive here?
I don't think he ever left.
We've never met him.
Yeah, he was undead and down there.
Possibly
Oh,
a lich.
It wasn't a lich.
Are you sure?
you defeated
Uh,
a lich?
It
It
It's
was
wasn't a
No,
very
lich.
You must be great. We already knew you were great heroes, but now you must be heroes of legend.
it was not a lich. We didn't have to destroy any phylactery.
yeah, there was no lich. We did fight an iron golem, but no lich.
An iron golem as well. What is going on beneath this town? Such power.
Uh,
Lots of
Nothing
natural
anymore.
ones. Lots of
Uh,
natural ones.
a lot of frog people. They're really friendly, in fact.
Oh, are they
Yeah.
possible trading partners? Elsie looks a little anxious, happy, excited. You're not sure which.
Um, if I don't know what they would have, but they would like fish, I think, which, you know,
It
goes good
is.
for us because we may definitely have a lot of fish.
We've got some pretty good mushroom farms down there. I'm not sure what varieties you'd find deep underground, but I'd imagine they could be useful to you.
Hmm.
The issue would be getting down underground, of course. I don't know if Osprey has anything like that.
Audrey says, we have a basement or two. Never seen any
Uh,
frogs in those, though.
Deeper, much deeper.
Oh, um,
Yeah, this is under
mm,
Stonehenge going deep down. Or sorry, Rusthenge
Rust.
going deep down.
hmm. I don't think we're much for excavating.
Yeah, I doubt we'll see them again, unfortunately.
What what do you think should be done with that complex?
Um, Bury it, forget it.
And how about
Get
It'll
Rusthenge
someone,
itself?
get someone with like the mold earth spell and just like put it under a lot of rock.
I mean, I think you're gonna have a hard time destroying that whole place, but it should be well guarded. In the wrong hands, there's a lot of dangerous stuff down there.
Yeah, there's
I
some
think for the
funny
time being, you're
machines.
fine.
That we broke. We broke most of the machines.
Exactly. We disabled many things. I think it will be okay for now. But I would do as Libby and Dezi have said, it's very dangerous down there. If the wrong people spent too much time researching, who knows what they might find.
We did find an interesting monster down there that we could farm for its sheds. I don't know. It's some kind of like metal-like object that can be used to make sky metal stuff. That'd be really fun. Um, we'd have to go down there and get it, and it's a little bit of a dangerous creature, but
Also very dangerous. Don't go to the creature.
I'm hearing different ideas from the two of you. You say there's some sort of metal we can farm? You can farm metal?
it's kind of like a thing the creature grows.
Kind of like wool on sheep, except like metal on demons.
It's
And
not a
can also
demon.
tear you apart.
It's not a demon, but I understand why you would think so.
Is it going to come out and attack us?
It has no reason to,
Hmm.
especially if we collapse the tunnel, which would be what I would do with a lot of explosives.
I will. Hmm. We'll need to talk to the town and talk to Sister Vanda and see what we can do. We are better
Also,
at building boats than we are at destroying stone.
yes, that's the issue, I believe. Um, Also, Vanda's really, really sorry and really feels terrible about scaring you. Um, she had no idea what was going on, I think.
I I think someday I'll be able to deal with her, but for now, I think negotiations between the towns are better done through someone else than I.
Understandable.
That makes sense. It probably is not. Obviously, it's traumatic to you, and I'm sure they probably feel a good deal of shame with what they did to you.
Though it does sound like at least there is hope for reconciliation between the towns. Maybe we. I'm still not quite sure, having talked with Elsie for the afternoon or so, I'm not sure what really we can offer. We have mostly the same things they do. And Elsie kind of nods a little sadly. Maybe you have a
Well,
couple more vegetables, but same fish, same sheep, same lumber. We're not all that different.
maybe trading through services would be better.
And Ordwe's still kind of like, they're double our size. They have almost everything we have, but better.
And we just had to do something that they can't, like having specialty luxury items, like going really hard into really fancy looking chairs and stuff for carpentry would be an idea. You know, luxuries.
Also, where else would they talk to birds?
Yeah, Elsie was about to say, what about those tours by being carried by birds? That would work, right? And Ordry is looking very puzzled at the four of you at that comment.
Yeah, they had some strange ideas about things that went on in our village.
They thought
We,
birds
we
carried us around?
Of course they do.
They do? I've never seen that.
Oh, don't be coy.
Oh,
Don't worry, Elsie's gonna love it.
you mean after all the drinks, the birds that carry you around? Oh, I know. Yes.
Those are the ones.
The ones when you end up face down in the gutter after a night out. Yes, those birds.
Those are the ones.
And we still need to figure out what to do with this horn. I mean, if you want a good way for the towns to cooperate, figuring out how to either destroy this or protect it would be a good idea.
Oh, what's the horn?
I'm gonna take it out, put it on the table. This evil-looking thing.
What do you know
It's
about it?
used in.
And for it, kind of mostly looks like a normal horn to me. It is. Uh, it makes me feel really weird holding it. Like, ugh.
They were using it in the ritual that opened up a portal to the outer planes to bring back the dead demon lord.
And it did bring out a demon for a second or a
Des-
something.
Desi, don't you remember that statue was missing a horn? Um, it doesn't look like
Oh,
this came from the
yeah.
statue, did it? And it didn't look like it came from the statue. I don't believe, right?
You don't think so. Give me a crafting
Yeah.
check though, or a perception check on that as well.
Okay.
I don't think it's actually his horn.
Daegron, yeah, you're thinking this horn definitely seems larger than the horns you saw in that statue. Um, so you don't think it came from that.
Yeah, he
Uh,
goes, I don't know about demons and magic, but that horn doesn't seem to fit the statue we saw.
That statue was of the uh that was the one of the old oh, sorry. Um
It was
I'm
of
calling
that demon, right?
so there was the
Czar.
giant statue of Tsar Azmak. There also was the
Mm.
ah
animated clockwork thing of Belnarius. I'm not
okay,
sure which one you
the
were
Star
trying to
Asmak
remember.
is the one we're trying, right? That you're
Yes,
talking. Yeah.
Yes, of
So,
the dead demon lord.
I mean, but is it similar? It's similar in style, yes?
very much. Give me
You don't think
a.
it's actually from Tsar Azmak himself?
You remember? I believe Desi read Metramar's journal, and there was a brief mention of Feltamar, his grandfather's, presence in Dis during Tsar Azmak's ill-fated attack on the city. And other than noting he managed to bring back one of the Demon Lord's horns, there was no other mention of what happened while in Diz.
Oh.
You
Oh.
you know Diz is one of the seven hells.
Yeah, that's I forgot about that.
Yeah, I'd be
So
careful with that.
that's probably his horn. Yeah, we're gonna want to definitely keep a good eye on that. Make sure it doesn't fall into the wrong hands.
Desi, can you make holy water?
I mean, maybe given some time, but I don't think that's gonna do the trick here. I think you're gonna need something more powerful.
I just kind of want to like submerge it in it and keep it in a container of it. Maybe it stopped the whole like making me feel weird thing long enough for me to find volcano to throw it in.
Volcanoes aren't always the solution,
It's
but I
uh
mean,
shorthand for something that is definitely destructive. Then I could toss it in and forget about it.
I definitely don't think underground under the keep is the best place to keep that. So,
I don't want it on the
Okay.
island.
s-
I might be going on a trip.
I suppose we could figure out how to destroy it, but I think that's going to take more research.
If anything, maybe just contain it.
Yeah, I don't want it anywhere near Rusthenge. So
Exactly. If we maybe find some sort of container that could, whether we may need to get it crafted, that could maybe block out some of its power. Even from here, it feels disgusting.
That is true. It was being fueled by things on the island, so getting it away from here would make sense.
Maybe if we hide it in that fuzzy bag.
I don't
I
want to
am
hurt
not
the fuzzy bag.
I'm not
No.
sticking this horn inside another magic item. That sounds like a good idea of making a cursed magic item.
I mean, bodies are one thing, but dead demon lord horns are a bit above that level.
All right. Well, maybe that container full of holy water is stuck somewhere underground in the meantime. Maybe that's a good idea.
I again don't want to let this thing leave my sight. I want someone to at least have some resistance to getting it.
I think you're right, Libby. I was going to suggest leaving it here, but given that it's powered by the spires and the island, I mean, even though we destroyed those machines, there's no reason somebody potentially couldn't fix them if they knew how.
Yeah, so I think we're taking this somewhere else.
Ordwe looks a little nervous, while Elsie looks very pleased that Dehorn is not going to be in her city. Um, and Ordwe looks up and so, are we heading home
Oh
soon?
yes, we're
Maybe
definitely
tomorrow. It's late today.
heading back to Osprey.
Can we say goodbye to our friend? He leaves at 5, right? I look at my
Oh,
non-existent.
they've actually already left.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad they
So
got underway.
you will have to journey by land. They've already left, so you can't hitch a ride with them back to Osprey's Cove.
I don't think Ordwe would have enjoyed the ride anyway. Don't worry.
And while you are having these discussions, there is a knock at Elsie's door as the acolyte shows up um, and says, "I have a note for you from Vanda as well. First, here's the transcription of the section on elves. Vanda says she is pleased that nothing else appears to be corrupted or secret or any underhanded dealings that are referenced in code here. Though I never knew Nor to be so elf obsessed. I do remember some of these incidents, but honestly, none of them feel any different from any other minor incident in town. The one reference that stood out to me, though, that test character, referencing some of the busybodies of the Pathfinder Society. I think we might need some expert help in deciding what should be done with Rusthenge and that complex below. Do you think we could trust them?" And Ordwe is like,
Oh no.
"I have no idea. The stories about them always sound like they're equally likely to stir up trouble as suppress trouble. I don't know."
Well, society to figure out what I know about Pathfinder Society, I
Yeah,
guess.
you'd probably have the same opinion of what Ordwe just said.
Um,
You would know that they
I
do tend to deal with these kind of matters, but their track record on how successful they've been is hit or miss, is what
I
you've heard.
think at the very least it's a direction for us to think about going.
They might know what to do about the horn too, or have some knowledge about it.
Or at the very least, have access to a library that we could do our own research. So then they never know about the horn or Rusthenge.
Well, I think we might want to evaluate them for ourselves, and then determine if we can share this information with them.
That's what I'm thinking too.
The acolyte nods and says, "I will tell Vanda your impression as well. I suspect she will send out messages to at least try to figure out, do we have any contacts we could reach out to? We may be back in touch with you if we hear back from them."
Okay, that sounds good. Um, Back in touch. We'll probably heading back to our village tomorrow. Is you can send somebody over?
Yes, it's a 1 day's journey. I'm sure you could put up a pair of messengers if they come. Yes.
Well, certainly. The bridge is out though. Something happened to it.
Oh, yes. We built boats out of that bridge. We'll have to repair that at some point. But you all made it
That'd be
across.
nice.
It can't be
Yeah,
too hard.
you should have seen how wet we were. It was embarrassing.
Hmm. So, is it a suitable challenge for uh feat of strength?
And a buttload of lumber, then jumping across the, the
Oh yeah,
river. Yes.
yeah. That's a long way to bring all that lumber. You'd have to have some really heavy lifters to carry it all that distance.
Oh, I thought more about like jumping across or swimming across or just being being a challenge for Gorham's sake. Who needs a
Yes.
bridge?
Um, the issue is that the people of the village that you're trying to ingratiate yourselves to again uh, might want a bridge,
Hmm.
But if you wanted to leap
and
across it and then build the bridge back the other way, I guess that would be all right.
or build it on both sides.
Well, at least in the meantime, we can send athletic messengers while we figure out the bridge situation.
Yes.
Sure, that sounds good. Gorham's Leap, we'll call it.
Or heck, we could make it out of stone, which is heavier.
We can have stone bridge and stone home. I'm sure no one will ever get tripped up over those if we did that.
Absolutely.
Might be harder for for locals to steal stone than wood.
Or less likely to build a boat out of it, at least.
Yes.
True.
Also true.
Very well. I will tell Sister Vanda what we have discussed. Um, maybe she will. Our main carpenter in town is the boatwright. I know he's been complaining about lack of work to do. Maybe we can get him to help work on the bridge. If not, well, I can't vouch for how structural it will be, but we'll figure something out. Maybe just trunks of trees laying across the opening, and then
I
something over the
believe
top
in
of
you
that.
guys.
That sounds sturdy, right?
I mean, it's a good start.
We might have people in Osprey's Cove that can help too.
I know in the old days, the two towns worked together to make that bridge, so maybe that should be done again.
Uh, mm, mm, yes, they definitely worked together.
Well, I guess you're right. Worked is the wrong word. They argued together. Uh, I believe there was a big argument over whose faces should be on the towers of the bridge, whether it was your founder or our founder. And well, honestly, I don't think the argument mattered much because the talents of the stone carvers, they're both just lumps of faces, anyways.
Yeah. Let's leave out the statues to anybody this time.
And so he nods and walks back to Stonehome. Uh, Elsie and Ordwy are looking like, so things are safe again. The towns are working. It does sound like you have the matter of this horn to figure out, but we can do that back home, Ordwy says. I'm ready for this visit to be concluded. And,
That's I understand wanting to get home after all this.
she sets up, or Elsie sets up a light dinner for you all. And unless you have other things to discuss this evening, night will pass. You can resolve any outstanding healing preparation that will finally clear the mutilating bite off of Daegron and Vanarel. Finally, it's been enough
Ah,
Oh
time.
yeah.
thank
Uh,
the gods.
that will clear the wounded off of Libbiel, but not the enfeebled, as long as you're the custodian of the horn.
I think the enfeebled hurts her the least since it's just strength-based rolls. So,
Actually, the one question on that, we know alignment no longer exists, but if you had to pick an alignment for Libbiel, what would it have been?
um, probably neutral good.
I think that might change the condition on you. Give me 1 second to double check. Um, let's see. You don't currently have it on you. Oh, nope. Yes. Okay. It is a little worse than that. Maybe you might change your mind over who should have it. Uh, it's enfeebled 2 and stupefied 1.
Oh,
I think none of us should have it. Maybe we try putting it in the bag.
no, definitely not. If it's doing this
I
much,
mean,
like,
we don't
to
want that aura spreading around. It is kind of icky.
yes, we
But
don't want it infecting your bag.
you can figure that out as time goes on. But so night will pass here, you have prepped, and you're making your way home. The journey, the first couple hours might pass a little s- uh, s- solemnly. It's been a short visit, only about 4 days, 5 days, but a lot has happened. You all encountered all manners of horrible creatures down below. Audrey was through a very traumatic experience. Um, but as you are making the journey, it does seem like maybe some of the sights come back to her. Some of the songs that you were singing on the way here, she breaks back into, and you feel like this is healing for her. Uh, you get back to the bridge. Let's put you there. That's been a while. Let's see.
Libby is kind of like tumbling around. This thing's really. Ugh.
Trying to find. Didn't have that one ready. There it is.
You sure you've got that okay, Libby? You look a little lightheaded.
Well, do you want to hold it for a second? See how you feel?
I mean, I'm just trying to make sure you're okay, but yeah, sure.
What's
I
your
can hang on
arrangement?
to it. If
Uh,
Vanarel had to think back, he would likely be somewhere along the lines of chaotic good.
yeah, so I think you have about the same reaction. It's just way worse for you because it sucks so much of your strength away.
So you've made it back to
Yeah,
the bridge. How would you like to get
I'll
across
take
it
it
this
back.
time?
I
Let's
mean,
see
Um,
here.
jumping seemed fine, but hmm.
if I remember right, leaping across like the top, yeah, leaping across there like a true Goramite, that should
Yeah, Daegron just as you say that, just kind of like swings his axe over his back and kind of hooks it into his backpack there, and then does a running leap at it and goes to jump it.
Easily done. You think you've grown a bit in the past couple days, and that was much easier than it was last time you were here.
Come on, it's nothing now. You should be able to handle this.
Okay.
Ordry looks to go next then.
I'm gonna help her out by using the staff of air to like boost her jump across.
Yeah, she makes it across this time. She doesn't roll a natural one like she did last time.
Okay. I can do this. Run up and try to jump.
you got this.
You make it
Yeah,
across
easy. No
easily.
problem.
Yeah.
Libby, you want to go ahead?
Don't trust him. He's gonna run off with that horn.
I'm sorry. I'm back. Uh, so I guess it's my turn.
Yep. Trying to get people across the river again. Just down to Libbiel and Vanarel left.
All right. I don't think you need my help across, so I'm gonna try to use like the staff of air because this would be difficult terrain. I'm guessing.
Uh, but you can't. It's not difficult terrain because you can't step into the air.
Oh, okay.
You could step into
That's
the
kind of
difficult terrain like the rubble here. That would be fine. So you could step into this square, but that doesn't really help you. You could. We're not in combat, so you can stride into that just as easily.
okay. Um, just kind of going to attempt this leap. This is going to be very bad, I'm sure. Sorry. I had someone come in, so all kinds of Oh no,
And you
Libby.
make it across exactly, even with the enfeebled two.
She's like tottering. Oh gosh. Okay, not
Ordwy's
again.
looking impressed, like, "Hey, this was a struggle for us last time. Three of us took a bath. We're definitely doing better this time." Vanarel?
It's all a sign of experience. Veneral will take a running leap up this way.
And you make it across. And
Ah,
the rest of the journey goes very smoothly. At this point, you're only a couple hours out of town, and you arrive back in Osprey's Cove. You have gotten home after about, not quite a week away. As you are coming in, there is a number of the people around town. The little kid Sorg who summoned a couple of you. Some of the elders are definitely waiting for you at this gate here. Um, they start off cheering when they see you, but then a hush kind of goes around them as they can tell it's a long journey. You're tired and maybe not in the best mood to being storytelling right immediately. What would you do upon getting back to town?
Uh, Libbiel's probably going to go and just go back to her house and take a nap.
I'll probably
She's
escort Ordwy to her. Well, I guess walk with Ordwy to her house, and then go to see my dad in town.
Okay.
just kind of completely snubs the other elders and just goes to take a nap.
They, I guess, wouldn't seem surprised by that. They know Libbiel's tendencies. So yeah, we said Ordwy was heading her back to her tavern or pub, which I believe we're gonna say is this one here. Sure, why not?
Or walk with her over there. If I see my dad along the way, I will let him know that. Oh, give me 1 second. I'm gonna help, or I'm gonna walk with Ordwy. I just want to make. She's had a rough trip. I want to make sure she gets home okay too.
Very good, son. I look forward to hearing about what happened. Sounds like it was a longer trip than expected. We thought it'd be 2 days. It's been 5. We were getting worried.
Yeah, a lot did happen. I'll tell you about it soon.
And Vanera, where are you headed?
Veneral would first stop to check in with the other elders. He knows Dezi is walking with Ordwy, um, but they are right. This has been a long day, and the finer details will come later. But mainly, I just want to let them know that Ordwy had sort of a harrowing ordeal. There's not good reasons why this took 5 days, and just to keep an extra eye on her. And we're all okay now, but we'll give you the full details later.
Uh, Elder Anlergard, the one who initially kind of nominated you to go on this trip, he will at least ask you, are things okay now?
They are. I think they're better now.
Okay.
Uh,
There's no
Iron
crisis facing
Harbor,
our town. We can wait to hear the details tomorrow, it sounds like.
yes, I think so.
Okay. Uh, you can tell the four of them look nervous and curious, but they feel like they are respecting what you've said.
And I mean, if they have any major questions, I'll try to fill in the details on the what happened. Um, they'll kind of sure it was a lich, but I'm not going to bring that up unless they ask. And then other than that, I'm just probably just going to head back to my my little cottage and and sleep in a bed that I'm familiar with for once.
Okay. Uh, Dezi, anything you'd want to go over with your father here?
Yeah, I'd probably kind of describe what happened on the journey first off. I'd want to give him all the information in terms of like things that affected the town. And Desi, as Desmond, his father, would probably notice that Desi's a little less excited about the journey and, tells things a little more solemnly than they might have described before they left and came back. And then at the end, I would definitely be like, and Dad, I found information on Mom. I'll pull out the transcribed section of the notes that I got back and say, she went through the other town. I'm guessing sounds like she maybe sailed out of there. I don't know where she went, but figured you should know.
And he would read over the excerpt of her, you know, basically dancing and singing and distracting the entire town for a week on end. And you can see a definite smile of recollection. You can tell he's seen that happen before anywhere she goes. Um, you know, definitely looks sad, like he misses her a lot. Um, but also understanding that she has to travel and he did not want to travel. Are you thinking
Not
about
sure
going
what
after her?
I'm not. I'd like to. I mean, I've been thinking about that, but I want to talk it over with you more. But maybe in the morning. It's been a long trip too, and I feel like this is a discussion where a good night's sleep will help.
Daegron.
Yep, Daegron would head back home to go check in on Calden.
Yep. And Elder Trahedry would have come with you. Let me grab where she was. She's coming all across over here. It's actually, oh, no, that's Vandos. I dragged the wrong one. That's the one of the fishers, not the healer of the town. So Jahedwi, Jahedia, here we go. So she's going to come over here, and I'm worried about your brother. I know you're both tough, and we thought given time and peace, he'd get better. But if anything, he's gotten worse this past week. I think he needs someone who knows more than we do. Don't know if that's a doctor, a priest, or something else, but I think you need an expert here.
And Dagon kind of like looks like I imagine this is kind of as they come up to the door before he's gone in, and he kind of like he glances over his shoulder through like one of the windows, and I think like maybe the house is a bit in disarray, and he kind of looks and goes, doesn't look like he's been up and about much this week.
Not at
Uh,
all. We sent Sorg and two of the other village youths to clean up a little bit. You can see how well they did, but they brought him food. They made sure he ate. I checked on him every day. He's weaker. I don't know what it is. Early on, as you know, the fever, the chills he complained of, that's all past. I don't see symptoms anymore, but he just gets weaker every day.
and he kind of like Dagon just has a deep sigh and kind of goes, I was hoping we would be able to just ride it out here, but I think we might have to head back somewhere where maybe we can find the resources, but those resources cost money. So, and he's kind of like look kind of like almost rolls his shoulder with his backpack on it and goes, I don't think anything in here is going to cover such treatments if I go seeking experts.
Can you
I'll have to think on this.
Can you tell me once again? I know we've been over this before. What happened? How did he get sick? What were you doing?
Yeah. And he says, well, as you know, we left to make our fortunes, our names. I don't know. This we were tired of being in this small town. It's cozy. It's everyone here is wonderful, but it's constraining. There's nothing that happens. Once we got out there, we signed on with a crew, and we I signed on as a guard. Calden signed on as a sailor. He was taught by our father, a navigator by trade, so it seemed perfect. But not too long into our voyages, trade deals, moving around, general just ship work. Wherever the captain said we sailed is where we went. But we came across a ship. It was floating, abandoned, a ways out in the middle of nowhere. When we boarded, I was thrown back by, I'm not sure exactly what it was, but shortly after we entered the hold, something struck me, and he kind of like reaches up to where there is this kind of jagged scar that runs along the one side of his face below his eye, and it says, knocked me back, and I don't remember anything from there. But when I came to, me and Calden were both being dragged on board, and he was unconscious. I don't know what happened. They said they thought it was some sort of plague ship. Sickness took them. They weren't sure. They turned the cannons on the ship and lit it. And I never found out anything more from there.
We've heard the story before. I still can't tell. If it was a disease, I feel like it would have spread to more of us by now. If it was a curse, I think we'd know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Daegron. We need help. And
I'll
she
have to
turns to
plan
walk
on
away.
this. Yeah, and he kind of grumbles to himself and scratches at that scar and kind of looks off before he kind of turns and walks back into the house, and you kind of almost hear like a little clatter as some things almost like fall over as he opens the door. And he just kind of shakes his head and starts kind of tidying as he looks back and sees I think Calden maybe barely kind of moves in their bed.
Yeah, Cauldron's eyes will definitely open and like fix on you. And you see his mouth move. I guess you've probably been used to this before. You can tell he's saying welcome home, but basically no sound passes the lips.
Yeah, he basically tidies a little bit and goes to go grab some water and stuff to go sit with him and tell him everything that happened.
And as you're telling the story, you do see, you know, it helps him wake up a little. You can tell he's interested in the story, he's following it. Um, and you've developed this way of communicating with him that maybe the rest of the town hasn't. That he his lips move a little. You can tell he's asking a question. Again, you don't hear any words, but you know what he's saying. You have this connection with your brother, and he coaxes a little bit more of the story out of you. What types of like I won't say confessions, but what type of kind of secrets or things you maybe wouldn't have mentioned to the rest of the party would your brother be able to coax out of you here by his
And
questions
I
and
think he maybe would have been more than he showed a little shaken by what they saw there. You see, he kind of like reaches into his shirt and pulls out this. Uh, it's a old beaten like piece of iron that he kind of like holds in his hand for a second and like looks towards Calden there and says, I know it was mother's and she taught us the values of it, but I ran into others of the faith and they did not stack up to her image at all. And you can see that the medallion is a symbol of Gorham. And I think he kind of almost confesses, how it shook him that something that his mother, who taught him everything he knows, was corrupted in such a way.
And as you are wrestling with that notion, you can tell Cauldron has fallen asleep. And speaking of sleep, what is happening with Libbiel?
Libbiel actually can't sleep. She's kept up by this stupid horn. She's looking it over, and she knows that she probably fucked it up down there. She knows that he must have missed something when she was identifying it. So she's kind of looking it over again and taking her time to really pour over what she knows about it. Maybe she has a book open for some reference.
I'll let you give
So
me
I
another Arcana check on it now.
okay.
Yeah,
She's still having such a struggle with it.
I mean, you know that it is well, not don't know no, but you feel close to positive that it is, a piece of a deceased demon lord. You can tell it has immense power in it. Um, you've worked on it. Um, you've worked on it for a while, and you can tell actually who has it right now. I don't see it in the stash.
It's in
Is it in?
Libby's inventory.
It's in Libya's
It's in her
inventory.
backpack.
Ah, there it is. Yes. Um, the things you are slowly figuring out about it, you think it um oh, it's not. Did you move it out of your backpack?
No, I just closed the backpack.
Oh, I didn't realize that's what happens. Interesting. It changes my view when you close your backpack. That's weird.
Oh, that's
Anyways,
weird.
you can tell you think it can function as a staff of some kind, um, aside from just blowing it to cause something to happen. Uh, you think it can. You're feeling it also has some connection to disease, but not in the spreading sense. In a almost in a curative sense, which kind of surprises you. But you think it would take a lot more study to understand how that works. Um, and you think it would take more days of study, and maybe you'd understand the staff aspect and all that stuff. You're sitting here looking at it. The runes on your B kind of are changing and maybe questioning, adding some leading questions to help you understand it. And but you're still not really getting all the way there. But it does seem like this is interesting. Your B in a way that you haven't seen it respond all that often. Uh, Makes you think your patron is taking an interest in this challenge.
Yeah. Well, Bumblebee, I can't keep looking over this thing. Do you want to go for a walk? We don't do that, but I can't sleep. So she's just going to go off and walk around the village, see what's changed, and see what's been different over the last week.
As you walk around the town a little bit, it's quiet. It's it's after dinner, so families are settling down. Sure, maybe it was an early evening when you all got back, but by now enough time has passed. You tried to sleep, you tried to nap, you then research this, but it's not dark yet, but it's getting late. And the things you can tell, the town does look completely cleaned up from the storm that was a week ago. You don't see any more, unthatched houses or broken fences. It does look like things have been mended quite well. The beach looks pristine again. There's not driftwood all over the place. It's been stacked in people's woodsheds effectively. It looks very tidy, very clean.
All Libby knows is that this thing scares her, and for her, the journey to get rid of it would be a drop in the bucket. She could be there and back in the span of basically what would be everyone else's afternoon. But it will take everyone else so many years to get rid of this thing. So she's kind of just going to take a moment and just really just decide that this is going to be her problem and that nobody else in the village will have to deal with this. If she has to go alone, then so be it. But she kind of hopes that some of her new friends might come with her.
The party has recovered back to Osprey's Cove. They've met with some of their immediate family, some of the elders, and at this point, we'll say a couple days have passed, and you're settling back into your routines here. Obviously, people have a couple of new worries in mind. You know, Libbiel has a mission. Dezi may have a mission regarding his mother. Same with Daegron with his brother. But the first couple of days kind of passed with just normal routine, resting, relaxing, going to your old haunts, taking care of chores around your houses, whatever kind of needed to be done. But we're going to fast forward about 3 or 4 days. Let's call it 4 days. And the four of you would have been, let's say, meeting at Ordwe's pub one evening to kind of just discuss things. Like you all felt like, you've been through something that no one else in this town really understands or has experienced. And you met there with Ordwe to kind of talk this through. All the elders you can tell have been worried for Ordwe. She's not been quite as um, jovial as in the past. She's still been as conscientious. She's getting all of her work done as an elder. She is, still running the pub here. It's still a main source of the village's, gossip and news spreading and just cheerfulness. But what would the four of you? How would you be approaching this meeting? What would you want to talk about with each other?
So I I'm probably leaving the island.
What do you mean?
She's just going to drop the bomb. I
Uh,
mean, this thing, um, it it's going to be a journey, and for me, it would be basically no time at all. For everyone else, it's probably going to be like a long time, right? So I can come back, go and come back in like the span that would be like proportionally no time at all for me. So I'm going to go and take this horn and deal with it, come back and live out my peaceful days here, probably.
As he's kind of shaking his head with a bit of a smile on his face. Libby, yeah, I know you think this is all your responsibility or your responsibility, but it's all of ours. I talked to my dad the next morning. I mean, he thought, I mean, he thought I'd be leaving the island to find my mother, and I mean, I'd still like to look for her, but I mean, getting that horn someplace where it won't harm anybody, that that's more important.
Oddly, I don't think it does harm, but my theories might be completely off base. um, and let me just not get into that. I need to do a lot more research on this thing. But yeah, definitely getting it off this island because of how it reacts to Rusthenge.
well, that makes sense. But
Speaking of that, I
we
may need to be going too.
Uh, but you're like, I know I'm like a fixture here. You're also quite the fixture here. Are you sure?
Oh well, Calden needs more advanced healers. Some who may be able to diagnose his condition. It doesn't seem to be lessening with his time here, and that's going to take money. I need to go somewhere where we can make that money, let alone have access to people who may know more than the knowledge on this little island.
Okay. Is he gonna be well for a boat ride across the sea here?
I mean, no, but he's not going to be well anything.
Let's see. Um, Vanarel, how about you?
Uh, well, if people are dead set on heading out for their own reasons, and Daegron, I'm sorry, I had no idea that Cauldron was getting that bad. I hadn't realized.
Yeah,
Wherever,
it's no good.
wherever, well, honestly, look, Libby, wherever you're going, where you think you're going with that horn, that concerns me. Um, I've been back, we've been back here for a few days now, and I don't think I've gotten a solid night's rest since then. Just because the the thought of what you said, like what that thing is or what it could do while it's here, I'm not on board with the whole idea of it just sitting around either. But you may be in possession of it right now, but we all came across that thing together. I was there with you, and I feel like I want to make sure that thing is seen to its end. Also, I don't have a
I
lot of ties here in Osprey's Cove. I mean, I've been back and forth over the years, but since my dad decided to stay in Belkson, I came back here thinking that the sea was going to be how I took care of the rest of my days. But this could endanger this town.
apart for the way it reacts to rust hands, I actually think the horn isn't an instrument of just evil.
What makes you say that? It seems pretty terrible, especially how it's making
Uh,
everyone feel and what it comes from.
that's the weird part. Mm, it might. This is again from just like preliminary research with me and Bia sitting at it sleepless nights. Um, it might be able to get rid of diseases.
Uh, Daegron?
No, I would not risk it right now. That
No, no, no. But that certainly warrants more exploration, especially if there's a chance of that. I would imagine.
yeah, I'm not going to risk his brother on like again preliminary research of a clearly demonic horn.
Even if it did offer healing, I don't know if I'd trust where it came from. But
Fair.
it's a good avenue of research. If you find anything out, Libby, please let me know.
Yeah, I'm going to be working with Bia. We're going to solve this thing. It might take a little while though.
I can help you look into the horn. I'm pretty well versed in a lot of different areas of knowledge too. If you're open to having my help.
I think I think my patron might have an interest in solving this, and if that's so, well, yes, help would be nice, but I think they get kind of competitive about
Here,
knowing
I
things.
okay. Um, who- oh, knowing things. So if I asked who is your patron, that probably wouldn't be the best question.
I do not know their name.
Very competitive about knowing things. I see. Well, I'll do what I can to help your research. I am curious as well, but understood. I don't want to get you in trouble.
Yes, helping is fine. Uh, solving it on your own might be a bit of stepping on some fingers.
You can keep possession of this, and I will aid and work and share my knowledge with you.
As you are discussing things, screams fill the air outside the tavern you're in, and I need you to
Libby
roll initiative.
gives the deepest of sighs. Woo! Libby's locked in, I guess.
Don't hit my 19 with your 1.
Dezi, you are up first. You hear screaming outside. What do you do?
Sorry. Well, where's the door?
To the south of you.
Right here.
Uh,
Those are
so I'll
windows.
run up to the door, open it, and basically head outside and
That's
try to
two
figure out what's going on.
actions. Yep. So
Yep.
you see something in the town square that was
Oh,
not there
God.
before.
Guys, there's the demon thing, like back at the place. Make sure Ordby stays inside.
It looks like a humanoid, four-limbed insect, basically,
Okay.
human size, with rust-colored scales, lots and lots of claws, some chitinous armor plating, very long, disgusting tongue.
Correct me if I'm wrong. That looks like the thing we saw in the room that came out of the portal briefly, right?
Yes, it does.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm yelling back in, basically.
Okay. So that was your three actions, I believe. Move to the door, open it, move a little
Yep.
bit out.
All set. Yep.
Okay. Uh, it is up next, and it is broadcasting in your minds. I come for the horn. You must give me the horn. And it is going to, um, well, you're right there. Yeah, it'll start off with an acid arrow against Dezi. And it will hit. 14 damage up front and some persistent acid on you. And then it is going to move towards you. Ends its turn there. Libbiel. Oh, and it. Oh, no, you don't take that extra damage. Let me undo that. I hadn't advanced the tracker, so it thought you had your. But I guess you
I'll
will
take
get
the
rid
2
of it
damage.
next
That
turn.
seems fine. Yeah.
Okay, I guess take the 2 damage, and we don't need to deal with
Yeah.
persistent again. So, reapply the 2. Dezi, you are up. You can see a demon in the doorway.
I think you meant Libby.
Sorry,
Oh,
Libby.
yes. Sorry. uh, just going to get a little closer and
It turns to follow you with its eyes. It's kind of
uh,
fixated on you now.
Yeah, Libby, maybe stay a little back, given the situation.
speaking of staying back, I'm going to use my staff to cast a spell, Gust of Wind, on the. How do I do this?
I think it's a line, right?
Yeah, no, like, how do I cast the spell?
Let me see.
I
It looks like it's not.
Oh, it's in the activations tab. Sorry.
Yep.
There you go.
Okay. So it needs to give you a fortitude save.
You need a flat check, Libby, because you're stupefied.
Yep. Roll me the d20 first. It should be down at the bottom of that little. Yeah,
I'm going to hero
you're going
point
to hero
that.
point that. Go ahead. You couldn't figure out which end of the staff to aim at the demon.
Reroll with hero point.
Okay. You spin the staff around quickly, and he makes a critical save, so he does not get blown away by the wind.
Yeah, and he doesn't take any damage, right?
No damage. Vanarel.
Vanarel is going to jump out of his seat here. Just calling out to Ordway, like, stay here. And he is going to also run out the. Where was I? Yeah, just getting toe to toe with this thing. I can't imagine I was hanging out with like my cameras waving over my head.
No, they'd be on your
So
belt, however you
yeah,
normally keep them stowed.
yeah. So I'm gonna get to just right in front of this thing, and no, ugly. You pay attention to me. I'm your enemy today. And I'm just gonna clock this thing once. I have not hunted prey on it. I haven't done anything like that. I'm just going to initially just clobber this thing one time.
So that was one stride, draw weapon, swing
One
once.
stride, draw weapon, and swing once.
Okay. That will miss. Daegron.
That is me.
Okay. So Daegron kind of like as he looks back over his shoulder and sees this creature out there, he's going to grab the halberd leaning next to the door and then start moving south here. Let's see. So if he wanted to go flanking, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, he could get there. Uh, actually, I don't think. Yeah, he can. 5, 10, 15, 20. Nope. With that 25, he'll get right next to him either way. And as he comes
I think you
close,
can get there
uh,
because you didn't have to zigzag around Dezi. You could have walked through Dezi's
oh,
square.
true. So he does he can go
Yeah.
one more. So
Yeah.
he'll move on the other side and try to pin it in place between Vanarel, and with his last action, he will swing the halberd towards it.
And you will hit it.
Okay. And for
Flanking certainly
damage,
helped.
he rolls 21 slashing damage.
Okay. It
And
looks
that will
like
be
it
all
took
3.
some. Took all that you expected. And Dezi.
Okay, let's think here for half a second. Okay, well, we saw you hit it with a hammer. I'm a little low, but I'm doing okay. Let's cast a bless, I guess, because that'll get all my allies, and that seems like a good idea. This thing's evil, so it deserves a bless. And then I'm gonna recall knowledge on it, I guess. Try to figure out kind of how we could best possibly strike at this thing.
Yeah, you think this is a corrupted form of some kind of insectoid creature. You're actually not even sure if it's a demon. You think it might be more like an intelligent ant type of thing. You know you've heard of them on that same planet that the elves claim to have come from.
I am very bad at this. Okay.
Formians
Though I could be
is the
right.
name you're
Okay.
remembering. And
It's
you
an alien ant, everybody. An alien ant.
think just
Farm.
hitting them is what works best.
So it's my turn.
What was your? Oh yeah, that was all 3. It is up next. It's going to start off by exhaling that cloud of rusted shards you saw it do against Metronmar before. That's going to be that cloud. I will need a reflex save from the 3 of you in the cloud as you see acid and rusted metal shards just being exhaled to you. You know, Vanarel, that's a success. Dezi, you know that's a failure. And waiting on Libbiel.
I'll use my
Sorry.
halfling luck on that.
Oh no.
Libbiel got a critical failure there. I'm waiting to see Dezi's halfling luck reroll. I will use my normal house rule that rerolls can't make it worse, so Dezi is a regular failure. Here is the damage. So I know halfling luck says, but I'm gonna use my normal house rule that you can't get worse. So that is 17 damage to Dezi, 34 to Libbiel, and let's see, half of that to Vanarel. Looks like Libbiel might have been dropped by that. Yes.
And Dezi.
Ooh, both of you were dropped. So Libbiel is dying 2 because it was a crit, and Dezi is dying 1. That looks good. Libbiel's initiative moves right before it. It has 1 action left. It is going to step out of the flank. Vanarel.
Okay. Jesus. Vanarel is going to pull his other hammer. We will properly size this thing up with a hunt ray, which is gonna give me a free recall knowledge with Monster Hunter. Would this be occultism?
It'd be
Is something
religion. It'd be religion is the best.
okay. I also just
We're also 2 hours in. I will give a hero point back to both Dezi and Libbiel.
I also accidentally removed the 8 damage I took, which is not something I should do.
You can probably still click the half on the
There we go.
put it back on you.
Yeah, I got back there. Yep. All right. You said religion would be the best option.
You're pretty sure it's a demon, but beyond that, you don't know anything about this particular type of demon. You do know that demons tend to be weak to cold iron and holy.
All right.
Dezi does have a potion of healing on them that they pointed out to you in the past, just to let everyone know.
All right. So that was not a critical success or anything. Sh- I've got 1 action left. I'm gonna try and pummel this thing down, hopefully softening it up enough that Daegron can just kill this off, and then I can turn to help my friends. And if I'm remembering right, oh, that was so private.
That was a miss.
Okay. Then the second hammer will follow suit.
Second hammer will hit.
Okay. Not the cold iron one, but I'll take it.
It says the
Oh, it
second
is.
one's a
It's the
It is cold
iron.
iron.
yeah.
It is all right.
I think the
Yeah, you're
warhammer
off.
is not. This one is.
Yeah, I
Um,
was mixing those up.
and we haven't dealt with changing any runes around, but we'll make sure we do that before the next time. You've had days that you could move runes around, but Daegron.
Okay, seeing this kind of immediately go sideways, uh, thinks they need to put it down as quick as they can. He's going to step to the other side of it here again and keep it in flanking.
That was a stride,
And
I
as
believe,
he's
right?
yep,
Okay.
and then he will swing the halberd as he strides that way. We'll see if we can hit it some more here.
That is a hit.
22. The max damage, 24 points of damage. And then he is going to swing one more time at it with the map.
And that will miss.
He's re-rolling it with hero point. Ugh,
Slightly
still
better,
gonna
but
miss.
still a miss. Dezi, I need a death save. A recovery check. DC 11. Unless you have any feats that change it. You are dying too. Libbiel, you need a recovery
I
roll.
can just use a hero point to just
You
stabilize,
can
right?
always roll first and see if you get better, or yes.
Uh, just with my luck, it's really bad.
So that reduces it to dying 1. You got better.
Okay.
Slightly. It is up next. Let's see. It does not like being flanked. It does not like Vanarel with the uh, that cold iron weapon. It really doesn't like that. Um, It's going to step to there, I believe. No, it's gonna. Oh, it can't. Interesting. It's going to stride. No, it's going to step to here. It's then going to cast a spell, which I think will still provoke from Daegron.
Yep.
You have reach with your halberd.
That's
Oh,
an interruption
that interrupts the spell. That will crit.
for 34 points of damage.
And
Oh yeah.
it does not get its
As it
it
tries to
does
like
not get its
sidestep
paralyze
them.
off on Vanarel.
Yeah, as
Oh
it tries to
jeez.
like sidestep them, he just brings the halberd point down towards it and just spears it into the ground.
And it disappears into that weird bubbling tar that you saw before in the other place. Vanarel, it is your turn. What do you do?
Okay, I am going to step to here. I'm going to drop both of my hammers, so I have the hands free for this. And we know that Dezi has a potion, or
Yes.
a healing elixir of some sort. I am going to use my other two actions to administer first aid on Libby and try to stabilize.
Okay. Roll the medicine check for that.
Come on, come on.
That will stabilize Libby.
All right. So that's all my actions, but I'll just call it a Daegron. I was like, get that bottle on Desi's belt.
Yep.
Daegron.
Dagron will come running over and grab hold of the potion and with his third action feed it to him.
Okay.
Tilts his head back and starts dumping the potion down.
We are out of initiative. The screaming in the town, I mean, that was all of 18 seconds that was going on. Um, and they're still screaming.
One.
Kids are still running home. Um, Ordry has come out from behind the bar as time went on and is at least peeking out the window to see what's happening. Uh, she will cast a spell as well, like you're just doing right now. She'll do a
God dice.
2-action cure on Libbiel. So
Everybody's getting back.
and Ordry gave 13 back to Libbiel. Yep, and then everyone gets the 4. She will also spend a 2-action one on Dezi for 10 more. And she gestures for the 4 of you to maybe head back into the pub. She's going to go out and try to start talking to some of the other elders and trying to calm the people about what just happened.
And
Yeah,
that is why we need to get rid
Libbiel,
of this thing.
agreed. It's also why you probably are gonna want some travel companions. I look around at all of us.
You are
Yeah,
not doing this alone.
you make a very compelling argument.
And you can give me a Arcana check or religion check on that. Libbiel, you think now this is likely to happen about monthly, as long as you're carrying the horn. And you think it may ramp up in intensity over time.
Yeah, so this is going to probably be a persistent problem.
Yeah, we should see. We need at least a way to secure this so it's safe for the time being. Something maybe to put it in. I might do some more research on this bag. I don't know if it's going to help, but
We
but
need
at
a
least
holy
yeah.
box or something. Yes.
Yeah, is there anything that could stop the magic? I don't know, maybe something blessed?
I mean, could probably try to see if Bia will eat it, but I don't. She only does that to scrolls.
That seems like a bad idea.
I wouldn't feed that horn to anyone or anything.
Agreed. I don't know what the right thing to do is, but feeding it to your bee doesn't seem like the greatest idea. Speaking
Well,
of, I haven't had my poor fox out for a while. We've done all this wandering. I'll pop take a minute to pop uh my my friend out of my arm. His name is eluding me at the current time.
not quick.
Thank you. Not quick. There we go. Pops out and
And as things are wrapping up, as you're discussing this and playing with familiars and discussing your plans, Ordwy will arrive back with two Goramites in tow who've just arrived in town with messages from Sister Vanda and all.
thank goodness you're
Oh,
here.
Um, Not at all coincidentally with the demon invasion. That is not coupled. That is just poor GM planning on my
It's
part. I'm sorry.
suspicious.
Don't read anything into that. That's not meant to be a thread to pull on.
The Goramites must be purged.
Um, the the first one says, "Sounds like you just had some excitement here in town. I'm sorry we weren't here faster. That sounds like that could have been fun." Uh, and The other one says, "We have messages, one from Berger and one from Sister Vanda. I think the Berger one is more important." And if you remember correctly, Berger was the shipwright. And
Mm.
the messenger turns to look at Vanarel. The message from Berger says, "Vanarel, you helped our town during the Thessalonian troubles." You can hear the air quotes around that. And I'm hoping you can help again. Uh, I finished repairs on a Magnamaran trading vessel, but the captain and crew were idiots. They went to explore the ruins below Rusthenge and never returned. Sister Vanda recovered their bodies. We've managed to contact the owners back in Magnamar, and they've asked if we can deliver the boat to them. All of our captains are busy, but I heard you're a sailor. Perhaps you'd be willing to be a temporary captain and get the boat back to its owner. There'll be provision shortly. Please come to Iron Harbor at your earliest convenience, or send a message back with these messengers if that doesn't work. And he looks a little impressed with himself for having remembered the whole message verbatim, or at least close enough that he thinks he did it verbatim.
the strongest muscle, your mind.
General's eyes got wider and wider and wider as that message went on.
And while you're thinking about that, message from Vanda, which maybe is aligned. She has reached out to a couple of contacts and, as discussed, got in touch with the Pathfinder Society. The nearest ones she knew of was the lodge at Magnamar. A Sheila and a Kenevin, Hydemark by name, is who she's been corresponding with. And it sounds like they are willing to host you and answer some questions if you're willing to travel there, both to extend the invitation for them to send some, I think, agents, they call them, to advise on what should be done with the Sky Metal Workshop in Rusthenge, and on the matter of your item. I did not tell them what it was. That is yours to deal with, but I did say you have an item you are worried about. I hope Sister Vanna hopes she didn't overstep anything by communicating that to them.
That seems reasonable enough. I mean, we definitely need to do something about this, and maybe they can help.
Yeah, it's apparently a demon magnet, which is fun.
That
Going to
thing,
liven up my life a little bit for however long I'm in possession of the damn thing.
yeah, that's not staying in Osprey's Cove.
Oh, I
Ordwy
It
didn't
looks
hear
on
that.
the
sees
four of you with a sense of pride and a sense of sadness that she got you all involved in this, but proud that you're taking on the challenge to deal with it. Uh, if you're planning to leave, how how can I help? What do you need?
Do you have like a holy box that I can fill with holy water and as many religious things as I can to suppress this
Uh,
thing?
no holy box. I do have 2 vials of holy water I can give you. A couple of spare holy symbols of um, Caden. I'm definitely willing to give you those for free. You're doing so much for the town.
Yeah,
Okay. That would
maybe
should be plenty, but I do need something to maybe submerge the corn in the holy water with.
maybe something to try to figure out. Maybe some help figuring out a solution to this would be good too.
I have added the holy water to the stash. Thought I added it. I'm not seeing it. Sorry. Where is it? Try it again.
It's up in weapons. It looks like.
Ah, it's not. It's not a consumable. It's a weapon. I added 2. Good. Okay, that's good. And holy symbol.
I'm going to tie the holy symbol to the thing. Is that okay?
Sure.
Yeah, just going to tie it on there and say a little uh, a prayer to the which
Uh,
god is it?
it does. So the holy symbol was one of Caden Kalian, the drunken god of freedom and self-expression.
And in Killian, I implore him for a little bit of uh, aid in this matter.
Uh, roll me a religion check on that.
I don't know how well this is going to go. She's not very religious. Oh,
Yeah, I mean, it
I'm
feels like
sorry.
your
I
prayer
shouldn't think
was
that.
was accepted, and you do see a very, very slight glow around the symbol, uh, and it gets very hot. You see it become almost like because it was a silver holy symbol. It tarnishes a little like with that like black kind of glossy oily patina that silver gets as it's in contact with it, and it seems to glow a little red at times. Um, but it doesn't seem like it's melting and losing its form. But it does seem like it's you don't know how long it will last. You would have thought given how black it got, how fast it got, and how much heat you heal from it, you feel that it would only last a couple of minutes, but it's lasted longer than that. Um, and you don't know how long it will do whatever it's doing, but you can tell it's having some effect.
Well, that proves it's evil, at least. Um, do I? Am I still enfeebled and stupefied, or
I'm gonna say as long as that's lasting, I'm gonna drop it 1 level. So you are not stupefied at all. You are still enfeebled 1 rather than 2.
okay? That's a little more easier to take.
It doesn't disrupt your spell casting anymore.
Yes,
We may need to figure out. I mean, I think before we leave town, we should take stock of what we have. Um, some of these things we weren't able to figure out what they were, and maybe other people could help us with that. And hmm, yeah, probably get ready with whatever equipment we need as well.
yeah.
Ordwy is
There's
going
some
to lead the
runes we can
2.
move around.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was saying there's some runes we can move around and things for our equipment.
I'm
Uh,
gonna feed as many scrolls as I can to be.
Ordwy is going to lead the 2 acolytes to some of her guest rooms inside the tavern. If you go back inside the tavern, you will see all the doors to the east. Those are all the limited guest rooms of the village. So she will have them set up in those. Uh, they will ask, "Do you want to head back with them tomorrow, or will you be following at a later date to pick up the
I would like
vessel and whatever else you may want there?"
I would like to get out of here as fast as possible, but I am willing to wait for everyone's preparations.
I think
I need
leaving
I
as
need
soon
at
as
least a few
possible.
days.
Oh, you do? Okay.
I'm not sure
Um,
how fast we can get all of our equipment in order.
well, some of that might be able to do better over there too. They have more of the but fair enough. You need a few days. Understood.
Or if you wish, go collect the ship. Meet us here.
Yes. We could have me pilot the ship. This is
Exactly.
a good idea.
I'll help
So, are you heading
if you want.
back with them tomorrow, Vanarel, or are you waiting for the whole group to want to head over there?
I think journeying together is a better idea. We don't necessarily know. I mean, that thing appeared. I think all of us being around, if it appears again, is the best idea. And
Yeah,
waiting a few days isn't the end of the world.
It should take about a month for this thing to have enough energy to make another one, but yeah, sure.
So the Gormites say they will be heading back tomorrow. They will convey to Berger that you'll be around in a couple of days to deal with the ship, um, and they will, and that you've accepted this extra deal. Um, they ask if you have any other questions about these matters.
Um, do you have no, it's fine. You probably don't have any arcane scrolls that anywhere that I could expand my repertoire with.
We
All
are
right.
we are still but normal acolytes. We have not progressed to spellcasting yet. Sword work
Uh,
comes first with Gorham.
that is entirely understandable.
I forgot to mention this earlier. I wanted to take one moment to share the new artwork we got for Vanarel. We'll be getting more artwork for all the characters as time goes on, but here is our new artwork for Vanarel from Rururi,
Ooh.
who was the artist. And I will keep working on making the token look a little better, but you can tell the token was replaced today with this artwork as well. So, in case you haven't noticed all of Vanarel's issues, I mean, not issues, features, we have the pair of hammers, we have the archery, the bow and arrows, the nautical tattoos, and just general nice expression there. Anything you want to add, Vanarel, for your own description?
Honestly, when I gave the artist the description of this is almost exactly what I had envisioned. I think they did a killer job. Absolutely. You found a rock star to get this artwork, and I thank them. This is super cool.
And so I expect them to come in every 2 to 3 weeks. So we'll keep adding more in as they come. I wanted to share that, and this was a good break. Okay, so you're sending the Gormites back with a mention that you'll be following in a couple days, planning to help them out by taking the boat to Magnamar, and Sister Vanarel has mentioned that she has set up a contact for you at the Pathfinder Lodge there for further research. Uh,
So yeah, I think there's a couple things
Oh,
that Desi would want to take care of before we left, especially if we have a couple days.
sure.
First, I'm hoping we can find someone. I'm unable to locate it. I'm wondering if it's in my inventory just as an object. But the weird bag we found, I'd like to know what it is. And since I wasn't able to identify it, I was hoping somebody in town might be able to.
Uh,
Um,
I will have. I believe Ordwy is the most likely to be successful, and let me just roll her religion on this. Uh, she does not know. She says the it appears to be acting like a spacious pouch, but something's a little different about it. She's not used to the ones having multiple compartments, and they're usually not lined with furry stuff. Um,
I'll ask. We can ask Elsie when we get there. She knows a bunch. Um, and I would also I want to check in on Daryl, because I don't think we've actually talked to him, just to make sure he made it here and is getting settled in okay.
yes.
And then
Yeah.
I'll have to have a talk with my dad too. But
Let
yeah.
me move you back to the big map. Yep, Daryl has settled into one of the smaller houses, the one right here. Uh, it was unoccupied after a disease, old age death about a year ago. The village has been keeping it in repair, for whenever a new household is formed or uh, long-term visitors or things of that nature. So they're letting him live there, and he seems happy. Um, he's a little better shaven, a little cleaner. And he has some new clothes that looks like some people in the village have given him. Um, he's not doing any work yet. You can tell like you do see like some sketches though if he's like designing new buildings and new wharfs, and at present you don't think any of them actually fit the town enough or you'd have the materials to make them, but it does seem like he's a little more alive than he was before. Um, you're not quite sure where this will lead, but it does seem like he is at least happier here than he was back in Iron Harbor.
Good. I'm glad to see he's doing well.
Been talking to any birds and various woodland life.
He's he's been he's been talking to the village kids more, um,
Oh, okay.
and just hearing stories and laughing a little more, um, and maybe watching like some of the sheep, um, just as slightly smelly but very slowly moving, kind of just pleasant animals. And he seems like he's seeing something about them that's touching his soul right now.
I'm glad you're able to relax here.
Thank you for helping me get here. I don't think I could have gotten here on my own. Um, I heard stories about the dangerous bridge and all that.
There isn't a bridge, but okay.
Well, that's what makes it dangerous.
Fair.
Uh,
Well, I'm glad you're a getting settled young man, but
and Bomel has asked about improvements to their estate. Uh, so far, they have not been happy with any of my sketches. Uh, I guess we don't have marble to build with here. That's been a problem. But I'll I will learn. I will learn what you have to work with, and we will design something. And you all know that Bomel is kind of the farmer, lives up here, and is known for being a little more ostentatious than the rest of the town, a little more desiring of better things. So this might be a good match, or at least
is
the
there
first proper building in town.
is there someone I could talk to about looking after my little hut? Because like Libbiel is going to be gone, and she doesn't have family here.
Um, Probably talking most with either Johedia or Ordwi as the elders who you've worked with the most.
Probably Johadia then. I think she's closer to where I stay, so it'd probably be less of an inconvenience.
She she will nod along with the request. I understand 4 of you may be gone for quite some time, uh, but Osprey's Cove was always, well, I won't say always your family's home, but for as long as Osprey's Cove has existed, there's been people from your family here.
Well,
I will
me at
make sure your
least.
house is still here when you return.
Yeah, I don't expect to be gone long, but then again, my not gone long could be a few years.
Are
So,
there changes you would like made in your absence?
um, no, I would rather the familiar.
Very good. We will we will preserve your house as best we can. We might have to clean up the garden a little bit. I don't think we can let it grow wild for years. We'll have to let you decide what level of wildness is correct when you come back.
All right. By that, she's meaning like right now because she's just already letting it completely go wild. Yard work is not her forte.
Anything else from uh, Daegron? Do you want Cadron to come with you, or are you leaving him here with plan to send information back, summon him back in the future? What is your plan regarding that?
I think what he was planning for, and he was going to talk to Vanarel about this, is either he can travel with them to Iron Harbor, but them coming back here with the boat um, to pick up Calden. Because the way he sees it, I don't think he's going to be back to Osprey's Cove. Uh, Magnamar sounds great. There's money there, there's knowledge there. This contact with the Pathfinders means he may be able to find someone who can help more with this situation. So I think he's just planning to take him and go and maybe find a place if he can get in good with the Pathfinders where he can get some care for him.
Okay. And so in that case, what are you asking the town to do with your house?
And yeah, I think as they said that, he goes, "Ah, do what you see fit with it. We'll take what we need from it when we go, but I do not know when we would be back. I would rather it not sit unused."
And you definitely can see like, some like tears of acceptance um, in Ordwy's eyes. She is sad that this is like a departure, a a complete leaving, at least as you're seeing it right now. The other three maybe are saying they'll come back in the future. Who knows how long, but she does feel like it's different. She feels like for you this is maybe a forever departure, because she also knows that if you were both healthy, you would not have come back in the first place either. You would have been out there in the world
Exactly.
still. So, okay. So a couple days will pass as you finish your preparations here. What runes do you want to have moved around? If you have crafting, you can probably move them yourself, or at least use a forge. There's a small forge here, not as good as Traven had, but probably enough. If you have crafting, you can do it yourself. Or are you saving that until you get to Iron Harbor?
I wouldn't mind
Um,
the a striking. I don't know what other people have, but a striking on the crossbow would certainly be useful.
I think we have a total of 2 striking runes, but I think
In that
one's
case,
on
the
the
other.
halberd and one's um,
the pick.
On the
on the
pick we
pick,
found.
and I think you may want them on the neck
Yep.
splitter and a hammer instead.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. I
I'm going to
didn't
be
know. I
moving
didn't
mine to
know
the
if you
next
had
splitter.
one. Yep, that sounds fine. I can actually. Libbiel's probably better at this. Also, before we go, I'll need to have a conversation with my dad. But yeah,
Okay. We can do that conversation if Libbiel wants to roll the 2 crafting checks in the background while we what are you discussing with your dad as you leave town?
Dad, I've got to. I know. I know you kind of feared this day, but I do think I need to leave, and it's not just Mom. We need to protect the town. You heard of what happened in the center of town with the demon. It's following, and I don't want the town to come to harm.
I couldn't I heard what happened. I couldn't believe that you almost died there. And now you're risking it again.
Well, somebody's
Why?
got to do it. It's it's the right thing to do, Dad. I know you feel comfortable here, but I've always wanted to travel. It's what I really have been longing for, and somebody's got to do this. And me and my friends, we're the right people for this job.
But if you didn't travel with them, wouldn't you be safer?
Yes, but they wouldn't, and I don't think I could live with myself if I did that.
When you find well, if you find Syndra, will you stop traveling or will you keep traveling?
I I plan on coming back, Dad. I don't know for how long or when, um, but I do plan on coming home. But I don't know where the roads will take me. That's for the gods to determine. And hopefully I can spend some time here. And hopefully I find mom, but I don't know.
I, I'm worried for you. I, I know you say they're your friends and you overcome challenges together. But if you never left here in the first place, you wouldn't have had this danger. If you didn't travel with them, you wouldn't have this danger.
If mom had never left home, you wouldn't have had me.
I, I can't like this, but I can't stop you either.
I love you, Dad. I'll come back.
Send word when you can. I,
Of
the
course.
silence, the silence from Sindra has been the worst.
I'm sorry, Dad. And I'll give him a nice big hug.
Yeah,
I think
he's
Desi has
he is silently
realized,
sobbing this whole time.
yeah, Desi has realized that kind of the roles have flipped a little bit here. Desi has now traveled more than their father and probably has a little more worldly knowledge and is, trying to comfort their dad rather than the other way around. So it's a little bit of a weird feeling for him.
And with that, I think we will fast forward you back to Iron Harbor. I won't make you roll to jump over the river again. There are now at least 2 logs laid across it. Not a good bridge, but definitely better than you had before.
I'm going to roll a crafting to grab just the +1 portion of the pick here.
Okay, go ahead. Oh, or we did not come back with you. You have arrived. Oh, and it's doing that again. So you have arrived back in Iron Harbor. Uh, are you going straight to the dry dock or something else?
I mean, I'd like to check in with at least a few people before we, head out immediately.
Sure.
Where did you want did you want to at least check on the ship first? The ship, yeah, I got that
Oh, we'll get there. I mean, look, we're going right past Elsie's once more.
And yeah, even as
right.
you're walking by, she would look out the window out the door and yell, "Hey, what you doing back in town?"
Oh, we're sealing off. We're going to Bagdamar.
Wow. Ah, going to one of the big cities. What you doing there?
I hold up the horn. Getting rid of this, I hope.
Oh, yeah. I know you were worried about that. Guess you're acting on that, huh?
Yeah.
There's a
Do you
few
Yeah.
want to come
problems
with?
still.
Or are you
Oh, no,
staying
no,
here?
no. This is my home. Things have been better here. There have been, I don't know, people smiling more. It's good. Haven't seen any more of those Thessalonian vessels, though. I guess I'm still a little nervous when the next one of those shows up.
Yeah. I'm glad things are getting better. Are you working with the people in the keep a little more now? Are they being a little more friendly?
A little more. I mean, there's still a little Gorham this, Gorham that, you know, strength, 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 always challenging themselves. It's a little exhausting at times, but I think it's better than before when they just ignored us completely.
Challenge them to clean your shop sometime. See if
Oh, I wouldn't
who can
trust them
do
to
it
do that. They
faster.
would break everything.
Fair enough.
But
Speaking of, Elsie, I've got a mystery for you. We've
oh,
got this furry bag, and nobody can tell me what it does.
a furry bag? Really? Let me take a look. Oh, I've heard of these. You mean you haven't?
No. Neither had anybody in our town, so what is it?
It's a knapsack of halfling kind.
Oh, cool.
It's
Really interesting.
pretty cool little device. Surprised you found one of those. Where'd you get it?
Down below in the, where all the bad things were.
Oh, well, it's a pretty awesome item. I mean, you're a halfling, aren't you? You haven't heard stories about these?
That's what they tell me. No, yeah, of course. No, I haven't really.
I mean, and she's also a halfling, so yeah, that's how she knew what it was. Let's see, who actually has it?
I've been trying to figure out where it is. I have a couple unidentified objects, but nothing listed under container. I'm not sure if it got misplaced or. Libbiel, you didn't grab it, did you?
No, I only have my backpack.
See if I can find it.
Nothing on me.
Maybe it got left down below. I thought I had taken it out though.
Yeah, we have
Maybe not.
We have two unusual objects in the stash.
I will just grab a new one to drag in.
Okay, that's fine. If we end up uncovering it, obviously we'll delete the other one.
Yeah. And whoever's carrying it, just know when we're doing checks to see how people are doing wealth by level, try to drop this out
Traction.
because this is a level 9 item. So
It's
it
not
would
expensive.
it would
Explains why nobody could identify it.
that's why no one could identify it. So
So it gives a lot of healing as well. I don't know. I can grab. I mean, it makes sense for me to grab it, but
Yeah.
yeah, given the last battle, somebody else having healing abilities would probably be good.
but yeah, so it's the middle compartment is a spacious pouch type 2. The second compartment can basically pull forth cookware whenever you want. And the third compartment is what has the 4 tarts per day that do basically a lesser healing potion. Not quite, but pretty close to it.
Huh, neat. Okay, cool. Well then I will start storing things in it because I've got lots of things to carry.
There you go. You have that hefty hauler feat.
Yeah, now that I took the hefty hauler feat, we find this, of course. No, it's fine. It can carry even more. Yeah. Okay. That's really cool. Thanks, Chelsea. This is neat. And hey, look what I still got. And I hold up my little bottle of Vim that she gave us.
What's it
Oh,
taste like?
you never needed it, huh?
No, I figure I'll take it as a memory of you.
Oh, very cool. Well, it helps be brave, doesn't it? It helps to stave off some problems here and there. Hopefully it comes in handy some point.
Yep, I guess we'll find out.
Well, thank you for everything you've done for us, Elsie. It was very appreciated having someplace safe and sane to stop by every night while we were going into that dark, evil place.
I'm glad I could help, and I'm glad that it seems like both our towns are doing a little better now. And I got my goat.
Oh, the goat is here now, right?
Yes, yes. They haven't wanted it back at the keep. It's getting healthier. I I don't know if it's going to be successful here. I may have to let it go at some point back to the wild. I don't think they were designed to be domesticated, at least not by the likes of us.
Yeah, let it go. You might be surprised what it does.
Once I'm confident it's fully recovered from its illness, I'll probably let it go.
Desi's also, just given their experience on Rusthenge, I've been wearing a chain shirt. I think I'm going to leather armor. This whole metal thing, it's not, it's not something I want anymore.
You can definitely buy that here in town.
Sure, I'll deal with that later, but that's just to narrate that I'm gonna be changing that up.
And so, yeah, at that point, you'd probably head over to Berger, or are you heading over to Sister Vanda?
Probably Vanda first and then Berger.
Okay. So you head up to Stonehome. Uh, there's actually a guard at the gate now. It's actually looks like one of the village youths, like a 12-year-old or a 13-year-old who's, you know, maybe playing at soldier rather than, but it does look like they're at least integrating with the town a little more. They are short staffed, so they had to hire some people. And it looks like that is some money maybe flowing back into the town from Stoneholm now through hiring some young people to help act as guards, and maybe they are trainees, maybe they're acolytes in training. You're not sure, but as you approach, they do run off to grab Sister Vanda. That there are visitors at the gates, and Sister Vanda comes out to meet with you and says, "So you're heading off. Um, I hope the contact works well. Uh, I'm still not sure if we can trust them fully or not, but it's at least a contact on the mainland. It's a place to start. And I felt Magnamar was better than Riddleport, all things being told. It might be a little further away, but it's a bigger city. I've heard fewer bad things about it.
Sorry, I might have missed it, but what was your contact's name?
Uh, I reached out to the lodge there. Sheila and Kenevin are I think they call them venture captains. Seems like they run the place there. Uh, Sheila did some of the writing, I think, um, but they seemed very interested in opening a discussion, and uh, they told me to send a message back uh, via a sending spell that on at least when you leave, so they can know your estimated date of arrival. Of course, they understand ocean travel; things can take different amounts of time, but they wanted to have a rough estimate. As long as you're okay with me sharing that with them,
Yeah, absolutely.
Good to know for people to know where we are.
that's what I thought. They It sounds like, I mean, they really want to send a team here to investigate. Uh, I I l- I will let you decide how much to encourage or discourage that when you get there. But we need help. I know you may not be coming back soon, but I do hope you can at least make some other connections for us and help us figure out who we should be relying on. Rusthenge is a problem, and I don't think we need it here. And that complex below, it may be history, but it's evil, and we don't need that either.
Wouldn't hold it against you if you collapse the tunnels.
We are definitely planning to figure out something on that. We have repaired our walls much better now, so we'd have to do a lot of that work from the far side, which may be a little less uh, easy, but we can always, uh, as you say, if we have some sort of explosion down below, the bay should just flow into the tunnel mostly, and as long as our end's secure, it will flood the whole system.
Yeah, I I think that would be the safest, most destructive option for making sure nobody uses that area. I would maybe talk with the frog people down below, see if that would disrupt them very much. They have homes down there.
We, I think we will wait until we hear what your advice is from the mainland. If you're sending out people to help us, we'll wait for their assessment. If you don't find anyone that you think we can trust, maybe we'll take that more drastic effort and reach out to these frogs you said you found below.
I'm going to reach up, take the pin from my hat, and give it to her. This is it might look like trash to us, but for them it is a sign of friendship. So if you just have your envoy wear this when you go meet them, it, it should make it a little easier to talk to them.
She looks a little skeptical, but she's never known you to lie, so she nods and it will be done.
Yeah, I kept mine. I'm sorry that it looks like rubbish, but like to them it means something, and that's what matters.
We have not explored past the door. We do send guards occasionally down the tunnel. We have not seen any sign of anything exiting that complex.
They
They
probably will.
mostly stay deep in there, yeah. But it's good to know and good to have. They're friendly and good frogs.
Was there anything else down there we should be aware of?
There is some bad people, and what was the other one?
The Darrow.
Darrow. Yeah,
The Darrow, and there is this creature
creature.
that makes the sky metal. Gosh, I don't remember the name of that.
Creature that makes sky metal. That sounds very valuable.
It is. It is also very dangerous.
Yes,
But
just be careful if
what
you're
is
gonna do
danger
anything
to
with it.
Gorham? That is a trial. That is a challenge.
Yes, it's dangerous to the mind, for what I understand.
Hmm. Well, maybe once we've rebuilt our numbers, we will go defeat, challenge, tame. We'll figure something out. But that's not a challenge until we are more than just four of us.
Good news, it should be very static for most of its time. It goes in stasis. So it's not like you need to go down to feed it or anything.
Let me see if she knows what this is. That description. She has no idea what this is.
I do know what it is. I
Yeah, that's true.
succeeded in that,
You would
but
know.
like
Yes,
I don't.
it was an Akata.
Yeah, uh, it was. She thinks back really hard. It was an Ankata, I think. I think that's what they're called. They're like a something that comes from like space.
One of those. Yes,
Yeah,
it's a ethereal, gelatinous space dog with tentacles. Um,
I'm going to take out some paper and just write her some notes on it,
yes,
like what I know about how to approach this thing with like as little danger as possible. I know Forum likes a challenge, but this thing will be a challenge even if you do these things.
Even if Gorham likes a challenge, you want to make sure it doesn't get out and potentially harm the townsfolk either.
and
Yes.
you also
The
know
biggest
that
challenge
anything
is
it bites, it
doing it
turns
right.
into a zombie.
Yeah. And don't get bitten by it. A muzzle would be uh, the best way of handling it.
She nods. Let's see. Anything else I should tell you before you leave? You'll be talking to Berger before you leave, correct? He'll have the details about who you're delivering the ship to, who this is on behalf of, all that. Um, I am told when you arrive, if you send a messenger or ask for directions, it should be easy to find the Pathfinder Lodge. But it's a big city. Uh, I wish I could give you more advice, but I've never been there myself.
Me neither.
I'm sure we
I
can ask around and find it, though.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone in a city is pleasant and just like this town, you know?
She laughs
Dwarfs.
and says, "Uh, you may be in for a surprise. Please keep your wits about you. Keep your purses hidden. Your coin pouches inside your outfits. I've heard horrible stories about pickpockets and cut purses and all manners of ruffians in the big towns, especially by the ports. I've heard that's one of the rougher places usually."
So I should keep it in my hat.
Sounds like a blast.
And she'll see you off unless you have any other questions for her.
Um, Nothing that comes to my mind.
And so Berger will show you the boat. It's a little bit larger than maybe you first thought. It looks to be, let's see, it's about an 80-foot long boat, two masts, about 20 feet wide. It does have a main deck and a partial below deck. You can tell it's not the best for sleeping conditions, but It should only be about a 2-day journey from here to Magnamar. You can tell it's made to be what looks like a kind of fast coastal trading vessel, one that probably runs, maybe from Magnamar to Riddleport up to New Thassalon and down along the islands here. Uh, Not really an ocean-going vessel, but it can handle minor oceanic transits. And if you're familiar with, actually, let me pull up the world map here for you all.
Yeah, if there's coast to stay relatively close to, we can do that.
Uh, so here is the world map of this general area. Let me zoom this in better. So Chakakoth Isle, I believe, was, I think, this one right here. That's the one you're on. It might be the one south of that. I forget exactly. Um, but basically, your journey would probably be cut across this section of open sea here, and then kind of hug the coast down, hug the area around Hollow Mountain, those small island ranges to get to Magnamar is what you'd be expecting to do. And you think the vessel probably does, you know, routinely, it's probably designed to mainly do the Magnamar to Riddleport run a couple times, and then every now and then, brave a run out to Zenedarasil or the Ironbound Archipelago. So it's not really an ocean going vessel, but this type of journey it can handle.
Okay, I'm going to
That's good.
prepare mending a few times.
I'm preparing water breathing, just just in case.
I have air bubble. Same thing.
I'm detecting a distinct lack.
Of trust in your abilities.
Absolutely.
I've seen you bandage people up, Vanarel. I mean,
All right, bandaging people up and steering a ship, two entirely different things.
He will explain the ship owner is a name by the name of Uruk Grobaras, uh, who seemed very anxious to get the ship back. Um, and, you know, understanding that this is something of an emergency with his whole crew being stupid, uh, he has offered you a 5 gold piece commission for the transit. He said he'll pay upon arrival, which is a little bit above the going rate for a junior captain for a short trip. Plus, of course, you're not being charged for passenger transport for the rest of you all. So it's cheap, but still a good deal. Um, and there might be a little bit of a like, and don't tell anyone else you did this type of thing, or don't spread rumors about why you had to do this type of thing is more. So there's a little bit of buying some silence here. You think
Right.
I can take a society check from people on that name?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Make sure I do this one blind.
Yes. Libbiel and Dezi both recognize the surname there, Grobaros, as sharing the same name as the Lord Mayor of Magnamar. Um, Dezi doesn't know Ulrich. Libbiel, you can tell that name does not seem like a traditional Magnamaran name, the first name. That sounds more like a land of the Lenorn kings. So you think it's probably someone who married into the family, probably first generation, not the son of someone, and someone who married in and took the wife's name, because it is the one of the most prestigious families in the area. Um, but you haven't heard this name before, so pretty sure it must be a very junior, very cadet branch of the family, not one that's high in society, even if it does share the name. Is what your
I,
guess is here.
I'm gonna smirk and be like, trying to impress the in-laws.
Or hide his mistake by getting his ship quietly back to where it's supposed to be.
yeah, fair
Yeah.
point.
And Berger says, should handle well. You'll probably need some of your friends here to help out a little bit. It is not really a one-person sailing job on a ship this size, but I think you should be okay. As long as they can follow your orders. Can they?
Of course they can.
Yeah, I guess.
Right?
Yes, we can listen to you, Vanarel. You know your way around a ship.
I mean, Berger at least looks over at Daegron and thinks you have enough strength to handle any of the rope work needed. He does look a little more questionable at Libbiel and Dezi's ability to haul the heavy ropes around.
Libbiel takes off being like, he's talking about you. You know that, right? I'm gonna be taking a nap the whole time.
Yeah, not quick. Do you get seasick? He starts chuff, chuff. And, okay, maybe you should go on my arm for this trip. I don't know. It's a good thing for you to be running around a boat. Plus something about cats on boats. I forget what it is, but come on.
And so he will get you situated on the boat. Let me actually show you your boat. Put you on it. And okay.
Ever mistakenly close a window?
Here's your boat
Yes.
for the next couple of days traveling. You also can be
Nice boat.
you can all be fully healed as well. I didn't notice. I guess
I'm mostly trying
Ah,
to switch out some abilities for uh my lovely Bia. Because I was serious. Bia's the one that's going to be doing this stuff.
so. You're going to have probably a 2 to 4 day journey, depending on how well Vanarel manages to steer you and convince the rest of you how to sail on a boat. But that will be for next week's session.